During spells in Italy and Ukraine, at both Sassuolo and Shakhtar, Zerbi deployed a unique and brave goal kick strategy, as multiple teammates occupied the spaces inside and just on the edge of his penalty area. This video will dissect various goal kick strategies used by Zerbi as part of the Team Tactics series. Check out the rest of the playlist, plus others across the channel for further tactical insights. The first example sees the opposing front line starting very aggressively on the edge of the penalty area. With Zerbi's double pivot also tightly marked, the fullbacks will then drop. This can help lure further aggressive man markers from the opposition. Naturally, this created big spaces in the central areas, as the dropping 10, who would also switch sides as they moved towards the ball, could then secure a direct pass over the opposing press. As this would lure out an opposing centre-back, runs in behind via the winger, then broke the press, attacking the spaces in behind. Alternatively, if the opposing fullback narrowed, then the dropping 10 would find the feet of the winger, who held a much wider position. This setup was seen here for Sassuolo away at Napoli, with the double pivot aggressively marked and two forwards ready to press the two centre-backs inside of the penalty area. Napoli's wingers are also ready to jump onto Sassuolo's deep fullbacks. On some occasions, the centre-back took the goal kick, playing sideways into the goalkeeper before moving outward into a more recognised position during very deep build-up. The aim was to lure a press from the closest opposing forward to then create a free man inside the penalty area. Whenever the 10 dropped even deeper and into the central spaces, the 9 would readjust, trying to pin both centre-backs with his positioning between the two. Some opponents would push one centre-back forward though, tracking the dropping 10. This left a 1-for-1 at the back. Should the opposing fullbacks then narrow, Zerbi's side would target the wide areas with a pass over the press. Some opponents would go half and half though, placing one fullback wide and the other narrow. This left one of Zerbi's wingers free as a key target for the long pass. As the ball was then played forward, the opposing fullback would often jump and attempt to compete on the first and second phase. Versus AC Milan, Ferrari is positioned on the ball, ready to take the goal kick, before he widens into a more traditional centre-back position. Juricic as the number 10 has dropped, lowering his centre-back marker, which has created plenty of space for the pass over and into the wide wingers. A similar setup was used with Shakhtar, as the centre-back takes the goal kick before widening, and whenever the opponents then jump to press, the goalkeeper would instinctively find the other centre-back. From here, they would pass across goal if the space was open, skipping out the goalkeeper. Alternatively, they would use the pivot player furthest from the ball to bounce the player across to the free centre-back. This was used whenever the opposing forward pressed across the pitch and stopped the direct switch across the penalty box. From here, the number 10 would drop across the pitch, providing a penetrative pass through, but as the opposing winger would often narrow to cover this, Zerbi's fullbacks then advanced. This helped breaking the line around the press, often via their first touch. This idea was seen away at Inter, with Marlon provided with two passing options as the opposing forward presses, either the direct switch between the two centre-backs playing across the penalty area, or the third man bounce via the farthest of the double pivot. Instead of playing the first pass across, Zerbi's goalkeeper would also play directly into the double pivot, but with these plays often receiving with immediate pressure, the 10 would then drop to support any flicks around the corner or an up, back and through type pattern. Should the opposition press inwards, which realistically they would do in this situation, Zerbi's side then bounced the ball back across the penalty area to the farthest centre-back. From here, they would play forward through the inside channel, as this pass was then received by the closest pivot player moving directly away from his opponent. Should the opposing winger then narrow to cut off a second forward pass in the inside channel, Zerbi's fullbacks would again push forward, breaking their line via their first touch. But if the winger held out, then Zerbi's own wingers would also narrow, receiving within the inside channel. Alternatively, the 10 would mirror the direction of the build, supporting through similar spaces. This combination is shown here, with Maicon bouncing the ball to the opposite centre-back before Antonio spins to receive on the move behind his direct marker. Time will tell whether Zerbi continues with his build-up style as he begins life in the Premier League. How he adapts his Brighton side on his first 6 league games will be very interesting, particularly when he faces very strong opponents. If you're interested in further tactics, please check out other playlists in the Elite Football Tactics site. Plus, feel free to check out the latest book from the channel titled Football in a Pandemic with a link to buying in the description.